Okay, so today we are going to understand the concept of communication protocols. So we know that. So in previous classes we understood different types of protocols. So today onwards, this is the fifth unit. In the fifth unit, the first concept is the communication protocols. So communication protocols is used to establish a communication between the a client IoT device to server IoT device. So client can make the request to the server. Every time we are going to discuss, it is a concept like this. IoT device is making a request to the server. Server immediately process some data to the client. So there are different important protocols that was there in communication. We understand it very few whenever we are understanding in the concept of like MQTT and constrained application protocol. Those are the data protocols for a particular data related protocols. So this is a communication protocols we are generally using in different types of networks. Whenever we are using various types of networks with different types of topology, we will use communication protocols. Okay, so see here, next we have different communication protocols. The following are the communication protocols have immediate importance to consumer and industrial IoTs. So generally this type of communication protocols are generally used for the consumer based IoT devices. Whenever so many industries are developing some small IoT Internet of Things objects, those are consumer based IoT devices for transferring of infrared, or we are using in the remotes, and for majorly transporting of some important information that may be light, or that may be uh, um, what is that, pneumatic means air based uh, sensors was used in industrial IoT. So there was the communication, there is lots of communication must be happened in the network layer, we know that. So if you consider starting from, we know that general the basic architecture, that is OSA architecture. In OSA architecture we have different types of layers are there, that is physical layer, data link layer, okay, network layer, session layer, presentation layer, application layer, etc. We already learned in computer networks, that was seven type of layers are there. In that network layer is very important. So the data, whenever communication was established, the data must be transferred from one place to another place. This must be, the data must be transferred through all the different types of layers based on their requirements. So here some communication protocols are given. The communication protocols are IEEE 802.15.4. IEEE 802.15.4 is one of the important protocol, communication protocol. Another one is Zigbee protocol. We have 6LoWPAN protocol is there, wireless HART protocol, Z-Wave protocol, ISA 100 protocol, Bluetooth, NFC, RFID. So there are different types of communication protocols are there. So we are going to discuss one by one. Let us understand the concept of IEEE 802.15.4. So generally this particular protocol is very important. So for basic first two layers, if you consider the physical layer and data link layer in general OSI architecture, we have these two layers. Similarly in the network also, in whenever we are using IoT architecture also, these two layers will be there, but in the it will be divided into sub layers. Let us go and understand IEEE. Okay, International Electrical and Electronical Engineering 802.15.4. It is a standard. At the same time, we can say it was a protocol for transmission of data. Okay, so see here, we are going to understand some features of IEEE 802.15.4. What is that? So it is a protocol, it is a communication protocol. So it was mainly standard for low data rate in wireless pin area network or wireless person area network. For example, if you use very small area network, if you want to establish very small area networks, I tell in the hands home area networks, there are lots of small IoT devices. These all are connected to each other to perform a particular task. At that particular time we need this WPAN, wireless personal area network. That means very low range area. In the low range area there was different types of IoT devices, the consumer IoT devices. So it will uses IEEE 802.15.4 protocol, because of it gives the low data rate whenever we are considering the low range personal area network. So that's why it is well known standard for low data rate wireless personal area network. And next thing is, it is developed for low data rate monitoring and controlling application and extended life low power consumption uses. So in so many areas we discussed in so many concepts. We have low power. For example, I already explained. So whenever based on human temperature, the valves of the pump is automatically opened and automatically closed. In electrical actuators we already seen some examples. So there was some low power consumption. Whenever we are going to understand, there is not very high power whenever we are considering the low power. So if you go for low power consumption, then we must go for IEEE 802.15.44, sorry, 15.4 protocol, definitely. So it is a standard as well as protocol. So there are, it is also used to control the applications. It is gives long last. Whenever if you any organization was developed then IoT device with this particular protocol, it was very long last. That means it will not be corrupted. It has some life. Okay, because of low data rate as well as low electricity consumption of the devices. So this is the standard. I already tell that IEEE 802.15.4 is not only a protocol, it is a standard. Uses only the first two layers, like physical layer. I already tell that physical layer and data link layer. But in IoT we have so many sub layers are there. First two layers is physical layer and media access control layer in IoT, as well as the logic link layer, logic link control we can say, and service specific convergence sub layer. There are other two layers in the physical and data link layer. So we know that the physical link layer consisting of only the bits. Only the bits will be collected in the form of frames. In the form of frames, the frames will be transferred to the network through the help of data link layer. We know that in the OSI architecture, uh, see here, we have four different types of layers, majorly physical layer and media access control layer. This type of protocol was used. One is used to connect the logical links. Logical link control means there was a certain program or certain program was created to transfer the frames according to the logics. And the service specific convergence means based on a particular service the packets, means the frames was segregated in the network. So it operates in the ISM band. ISM band. So generally this particular protocol is based on ISM band. Okay, we understand it, the features now. It operates in ISM band only. So next, we are going to check the architecture. If you see, this is a general OSI architecture. Okay, in that we have physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport, session, presentation, and application layers. We know that there are 7 different layers are there. If you only consider the IEEE 802.15.4, this particular protocol is a only there in both data link layer and physical layer, only applicable for data link layer and physical layer for different purposes. That is the reliability of data and security purpose, and everything what we considered in data link layer and physical layer. So this particular protocol is related to the first two layers, that is data link layer and physical layer. Okay, so next, if you see that at the right side, what happens whenever we are using the IoT architecture in the right side. So these two layers includes these all things. What is that? Physical layer, media access control layer, okay, service, what is that? Service session, convergence sublayer. It is service separatable convergence sublayer. It is logical link control layer, and finally this was attached to the network layer. So these all are bidirectional data. We can grabbing the data from network layer and we can provide the data to the network layer. Both the things can be happen. So whenever we are consider this particular architecture, this is related to IoT, and this is general basic IoT, sorry, basic architecture in the networks. Okay, so here if you see, this is a logical link layer, link control. It consisting of frames that is segregated with exact data frames that is separated with logic. So this is service separated convergence sublayer. So based on the services, it is going to be gives some frames to the logic link control layer sublayer. So like this, we have different types of layers. That was these all layers, all are the sub layers what we are used in 802.15.4 protocol. And next, if you see, we have some points are there. The points are, so this particular protocol uses direct sequence spread spectrum DSS modulation. So that means we know that what is a spectrum. Through spectrum, a communication channel was established. Through that particular spectrum only, the data can be transferred from one place to another place. So direct sequence spread spectrum modulation, this type of protocol was used, and it is highly tolerance of noise and interference, and offers links reliability improvement mechanism. Okay, so whenever we are considering this particular protocol, it gives the more reliability and more accurate data transmission between the IoT client and IoT server, or IoT mains IoT server, we can say. And it is highly tolerance of noise, a tolerant noise. That means whenever the data is communicated, so there was no noise, there was no disturbance whenever transferring of data. So that is the one of the point. So if you consider next 2 points I am going to study, that is low speed versions uses binary phase shift keying. That means whenever we are using this particular protocol, Okay, low speed versions and high data rate versions. There are low data rate versions and high data rate versions. There are two types of versions are there. Whenever the low data rate required, then it uses the binary phase shift keying. What is that? What is using a binary data like 0 1 0 1 0 0 1 like this? Based on that, a key was created. Based on the key, the data was aggregated and sent to the particular uh, device. One IoT, for example, one IoT device is want to send the sensed data to the another IoT device. Then with low data rate, then we will use binary shift key. So in programming, we will we will write the program to get the binary data, binary key. We created a binary key. Based on that particular binary keys shift keying, we will separate the data. So that means the logic will be separated at the end point of devices, at end devices. Similarly, high data versions uses the offset quadrature phase shift keying. Offset quadrature phase shift keying is the another type of keying. So it is also whenever writing, any particular programmer is writing a program, he is going to define a key. We know that what is the concept of key. Whenever we are telling the concept of encryption and decryption, we have a key. Similarly, here also the quadrature key means a random number based on a random number or random set of characters. A shift keying was a key was designed based on that particular key. High data rate communication can be possible with one IoT device to another IoT device. And next, it uses the carrier sense multiple access with collision avoidance. We know that the concept in computer networks, the concept is so collision avoidance will be done using CSMA, that is carrier sense multiple access. Carrier sense multiple access provides different types of spectrums. Through the spectrums, we can transfer the data and we can get exact acknowledgement from the server. So whenever the channels was free, we can transfer the data through that particular spectrum. So CSMA uh, hyphen CA, so that allocates a channels for each and every data we will provide it to different channels, but it is used to avoid the collision avoidance. We already know in a computer network concept. And multiplexing allows you multiple users or nodes interference free access to same channel at different times. Okay, we know that if the channel was free, then the data will be transferred in that particular channel. If client and server wants a communication channel, this particular channel is free, you can easily transfer. If this particular channel is busy to transfer the data, then we have to then we have to use then we have to specify whether the channel is free or not. We have to find. So we know that our general radios having different channels. Whenever we are keeping with a particular channel, based on that particular channel only having that particular station. So there are different types of stations. Whenever we are frequency was changed, frequency means whenever the spread spectrum, we have a number of communication channels. uh, so if any channel was free, then we will use that particular channel to transfer the data. Okay, so but at the same time, two different same channel will not be allows to multiple users to transfer the data. Here what here writing is multiplexing allows the multiple users or nodes interference free access. Interference free access means there was no interference in between. Whenever a channel was used by a client and server. Okay, so that is the points. If you are using this particular protocol, these all are the important points, please remember. And next thing is power consumption is minimized due to infrequently occurring very short packet transmission with low duty cycles, less than 1%. What is the meaning of that? Whenever, so we already know that this type of protocol is used whenever we use this particular protocol in low power consumptions only, or low data rates, whenever we are we are talking regarding IEEE 802.14.4, sorry, 15.4. This particular protocol is minimized in power consumptions, less power consumptions. So very short packet transferring is going to be done within a 1%, less than 1%. Means cycle, we know that a cycle was established. What is a cycle? Cycle means, so once a request is going to be server immediately responded. So this is known as a round trip or a cycle, we know that. So the cycle's transmission time, packet transmission time is very less than 1%, he is telling. And next thing is, the minimum power level is defined is -3 dB or 0.5 microwatts. dBm, -3 dBm minimum power in this particular protocol. Whenever we are in this particular communication protocol, we are using the minimum power level is -3 dBm or 0.5 microwatts. Transmission for most cases is line of sight. So whenever we are using this particular protocol, we have to use line of sight. Okay, the transmission is using in line of sight only. Okay, so not only without line of sight also it is going to be possible, but with high data rates, it leads to high data rates. If you want to send the data in low data rates, the line of sight we will use for transmission of data. And next is standard transmission range varies between 10 meters to 75 meters, up to 10 meters. General standardization for transmission of data between the client and server is 10 meters to 75 meters. So in best case of transmission range achieved outdoors can be up to 1000 meters, up to 1000 in outdoors. So there are two different types of communication. That means if you consider low power wireless area network or low power PAN, if you use, so it is going in a particular range. So continent to continent or city to city, if you consider, that is outdoors. So up to 1000 meters of the range you can transfer the data. So next is this type of protocol is mostly uses in some topologies, some network topologies. The topologies are star topology and mesh topology. If you go for star topology and mesh topology, we are mainly using this type of protocol. Okay, so next we have, there are different variants of this particular protocol. If you see, there are various variants of IEEE 802.15.4 protocol variants. So the basic version is AB. A or B can be denoted as the basic versions of IEEE 802.15.4. So in China, so the variant of IEEE 802.15.4 is C. In Japan, the variant is D for Japan. General industrial applications, if this particular protocol was used, that is industrial applications, the variant is E. Generally, if I use the active radio frequency identifiers RFIDs, then we will use the variant of F. And if you use smart grids, we already talk so many concepts and so many things regarding smart grid. If you use this particular protocol in smart grid, the variant is G. Please uh, remember that A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B is a basic version, C is for China, D is for Japan, E is for industrial applications, okay, and F is for RFID users, active RFID, and G for smart grid. Okay, G for grid. Okay, so remember RFID radio frequency, F for frequency, radio frequency, industrial applications, E for industries, like this. Okay, so there are different variants of IEEE 802.15.4. Okay, so if anybody asks you this type of question, please write different types of variants. The variants are this, okay, of IEEE 802.15.4. So what are the IEEE 802.15.4 types? If you consider this particular protocol, we have two types of networks that was supported by this particular protocol, that is beacon enabled networks and non beacon enabled networks. What is that? We will clearly understand what is beacon enabled networks and non beacon enabled networks. Okay, but here we have this particular protocol can be segregated into two major parts, that is, okay, FFD and RFD. Okay, a fully functional dependent devices. There are different fully functionally dependent devices was there in a network, as well as reduced functional devices are there in a network. Fully functional dependent means this, whenever we are using this type of protocol in the communication, so there are certain devices like PAN coordinator, router, and other devices, router, switch, etc. So router is having their own logic, their embedded logic that will be run in the routers. Routers consisting of routing table, it tells that which IP address, source IP address, source destination address, source MAC address, source destination MAC address, and what is the data, everything will be there. That means it was fully functionally dependent on this particular protocol how to transfer the data. And PAN coordinator means personal area network coordinator. Generally it is also one of the device, it consisting of their own logic. The logic is how to transfer the data to the different devices. That means how to transfer, how to retrieve. It's like a centralized computers, like a centralized servers. The coordinators, what coordinators will do? Coordinator will do that the messages that is getting from outside will be passed to his correspondent uh, persons. For example, if I am the placement coordinator, then I will get the information from companies and I will provide it to you. So that means I was the mediator. Similarly, the coordinator is the mediator or the some major device. It has some business logic for transferring of information between different other devices. So the coordinator is act like a mediator. And some other devices that was dependent on fully functional dependent. But what is reduced functional dependent devices? These devices is does not having any logic. It is only this particular protocol was used and it is only for the purpose of making a proper action only. It performs an action, but it will not be do any other type of works. It will not be go for any other type of works. That's why we have it is reduced functional dependent devices. These two type of devices can be segregated using 802.15.4. So these two type of devices we will use in IoT networks for the purpose of communication of data from one device to another device. Next, so fully functional devices, FFDs, can talk to all type of devices. That means the devices which is capable of interacting with any other devices in the same network. It supports the full protocol. It supports all type of protocols. And reduced functional devices, RFDs, can only talk to an fully functional dependence. That means the device which is working on the base of any other device. That means RFDs is always based on FFDs. it uh, it is having low power consumption. Whenever we are seeing this particular device, this IoT device, it has very low power and minimum CPU and RAM required, so very less, because of these are also embedded devices which is consisting of very less CPU and RAM required for this type of devices. Okay, here we already understand the concept here regarding fully functional devices and reduced functional devices in a network. IEEE 802.15.4 frames. So there are different types of frames that was created for sending to the network layer. So what is that particular frames? There are different types of frames are there. That is a data frame. Data frame consisting of the data, collection of data which is used to send from server to client, otherwise client to server. That is a data frame. We know that data frame consisting of the original data. And acknowledgement frame, acknowledge in the acknowledgement frame we have the acknowledgement number. So if server, we are going to make the request to the server, then server generates one identification number. That means I received, or otherwise I don't receive, like this acknowledgement. If you find the acknowledgement, in the acknowledgement numbers, we have failure as well as success, both the things will be there. The server tells the client to whether I will accept your request or denied your request. That will be given through acknowledgement only. So that is in the acknowledgement frame we have the information of the acknowledgement, everyone knows. And come to command frame, the command frame consisting of the proper action. So one IoT device wants to perform a proper action. The proper action can be transferred through a command. So with the command only, in the command frame only, what is the main command, whether for example in general DBMS operation, for example general DBMS operation, I want to delete a particular record in the cloud, I want to insert a particular record in the cloud. So there are different types of commands like insert, delete, update, create, alter, etc. There are different types of commands. It will do a proper action in the database cloud. So that means based on different, in IoT applications there are various types of commands will be there. So based on the command frame, a particular action is going to be performed. And we know that media access control, it consisting of the collection of frames in the form of bits. Like MAC addresses is generally there. What type of destination MAC address, media access control address of a particular device will be in the form of binary format. So in this particular frame, it consisting of the source IP, source MAC address and destination MAC address may be there. The collection of MAC addresses, if it is sending from client to server, the client MAC address will be there. Next, if it is the server is sending, then in this particular MAC frame, the server MAC address will be there. And if you go for the beacon or non-beacon, beacon frame tells that whether the network is a constant. That means whether the network is a reliable communication or not. In the beacon network, in the beacon frame, it is going to be tell. So these are the different types of frames we have. So now we are going to understand that what is beacon enabled networks and non-beacon enabled networks. We have some points. The points are, if you go for the points are periodic transmissions of beacon messages in beacon networks. In beacon network, there is a collection of devices. One IoT device is want to interact with the another IoT device through a communication channel. Then what happened? The client makes the request to the server. So server have to respond. Unfortunately, at the middle, so there was the message was lost, or the time was over. The time limit was over to sending the response. So what happened? It waits. It is waiting for a after some time. It is going to be sent the response. So that is like a periodic transmission. Periodic transmission is always done. That means server is sending the message in a time period. For example, every 5 minutes it is giving the response. So like this, periodic transmission of messages will be there in the beacon networks, enabled networks. And data frame sends via slotted CSMA by CA, with super frame structure managed by personal area network coordinator. Okay, PAN coordinator, we know that. So personal area network or PAN coordinator. So generally it manages the frame structure. It manages the frame structure of whether the slot is free in the what is in the spectrum, whether the channel is a free or not to transfer the data. Okay, to transfer the data frames from slotted aloha, we are telling that. So that is carrier sense multiple access by collision avoidance. We already understand that carrier sense multiple access means multiple users can make uh, can be possible to transfer the frames in a channels, multiple clients. But if it was a free, because of collision avoidance is going to be not going to be done. There was no two users cannot use the same channel. If the channel is free, then one person can be able to transfer. One person means one IoT device can transfer the data to the another IoT. So this particular thing, this whether the slot is free, whether the slotted aloha was free or not, will tell by the PAN coordinator to their respected IoT devices. Beacon used for synchronization and association of other nodes with the coordinator. What is the meaning of that? So in the beacon networks, it is telling that the synchronization. Synchronization means in a network, one node is transferring the information to any other node in a communication channel. No other node will not be interact in the middle, will not be disturbed in middle. That is known as synchronization. If you understand the concept of synchronization in Java, one thread, if all the threads are run at a time, then all threads will be in the dead block state. That we are telling that that was a dead block state. That's why we will use the synchronization. Synchronization means only one process will be executed at a time. Only one thread can execute at a time. Similarly, here also one slotted channel can be allocated for the communication purpose. If that communication channel was filled or occupied, no other person will not be interacted. No other user means device cannot be interacted in between. Okay, so that is the also basic responsibility of the coordinator. Okay, next thing is scope of operation spans the whole network. So here in this particular network there was lots of operations spans for the whole network. If one node is failed in the network, then no problem, we will go and send with the another node. That is the responsibility of the coordinator. Okay, so this is regarding the concept of beacon enabled networks. Next we have beacon non-beacon enabled networks. What is non-beacon enabled networks? Some few points are given here. The data frames sent via unslotted CSMA, that means connection based CSMAs. Unslotted means the slotted was unslotted. There is a connection based carrier sends multiple access based on the connection based only. Whether the slotted channel in the previously in beacon networks, the slot is perfect, so that is a slotted communication channel. Here this is unslotted communication channel, and beacons uses only for link layer discovery. So generally beacons are uses only the link layer discovery, discovered but through the link layer, that is the sub layer of the uh, media access control, and requires both source and destination IDs. So whenever we are using non-beacon enabled networks, we must require both the source IDs and destination IDs. So as 802.15.4 is primarily a mesh protocol, all protocols addresses must be added to mesh configurations. To mesh configurations only, this uh, this protocol supports the mesh topology. So in non-beacon networks, all the addressings will be done through this particular protocol. What is the protocol we use? 802.15.4 we will use in both beacon and non-beacon networks. The basic difference here is in beacon network there was a connectionless transmission of data will be used. In non-beacon networks we will use the connection based transmission technique. At the same time, in beacon networks, once the a slotted channel was allocated, it will be transferred from one IoT device to another IoT device. In non-beacon enabled networks, so the slot is not going to be confirmed. Still it is going to be, if it was a free, that will be taken care by the coordinator. So if it was free, it will be transferred. If it is not free also, sometimes it may go for transmission, but it cannot be transmission. It gives unacknowledgement or unconfirmable messages will be done, or some network errors will come. Decentralization communication among the nodes, because of here no centralized communication was there, because it uses the mesh topology. Centralized means the centralized coordinator will knows what is the status of the every other device, and it sends a proper information to any other IoT devices to perform a proper task. Next. Okay, so these are the concepts of related to the concept of IEEE 802.15.4.